welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Ayodeji Matuluko and I'm a PhD student in Glasgow, Scotland. So if you remember in my previous video where I went on a staycation and took some annual leave for my PhD in July, you remember that I mentioned that I'll be taking a break at the end of September. So I've just done that. I've taken 2 weeks of annual leave from my PhD. So the remaining annual leave for the 2020/21 session. And so now I'm feeling relaxed, I'm feeling re-energized, ready to move into the 4th and final year of my PhD. So my PhD started on October 1st, 2018. So it feels really good to be able to reflect and now go back to work after taking some leave. So if you remember also in my day in the life video, I mentioned that our offices are now open. So PhD students can now work in their office. And so I'll be taking you with me as I go back to the office, trying to get back into my previous routine before the whole COVID pandemic. And we'll see what it is like to be back to the office after 18 months of being away. It's been a long while. So at this point, I'm sure somebody's wondering how come I have a PhD office. That, oh, are you not a PhD student? Why are you not attending class? But you see, I'm doing research. That's what PhD students do. So PhD students are treated like a cross between staff and students. And if you remember in my What is a PhD video, I talked about the structure of the PhD and I talked about how it is structured, especially in the UK. So in my university, when you resume, you get your own office space, you get your own computer equipment. I have a laptop that I use for my PhD. And especially in the UK, we don't have any coursework or mandatory classes that we have to attend, at least especially in my university. So you start your research from the get-go. If you're working in a lab, you get your lab space, you get your office space. So it's really nice and you can get your work done from a dedicated space. So it feels good to be back in my own space. And one thing that I definitely missed was being able to work with 2 screens. So you see, I can just transform the way I view my work and I can navigate from screen to screen. So I definitely missed that. And so it feels good to be back. I'm really happy about that. So let me just take you down memory lane a bit. If you remember in my previous video, I mentioned that I used to be in an open plan office. So this is the first office I came to in my first year. I used to be at the corner just right there with other PhD students. And also I have a dedicated locker just at the corner right there. So it actually feels good to be back in the office. And to be honest, I don't think anything has changed. I just feel normal, like I was here all the time, like I never left for 18 months. So it feels good to be back. And yeah, I've basically set everything up and everything is normal. So I'll be coming here probably maybe twice a week or 3 times a week, but I'll just be doing it gradually. And it's nice to come back. It's quiet and not many people are around. And yeah, I'm going to enjoy myself. So I was just thinking back now that I'm starting the final year of my PhD. So this is the first day of my 4th year, and I'm just thinking back to how I felt on my first day. So my first day, I felt really nervous. I felt excited. It was a mix of so many feelings. I felt excited, nervous, and I also felt supported. So I had my first meeting with my supervisors on that first day, and I think we had induction. Yeah, we had induction that week. So I felt like it was a very supportive environment. They really wanted to support us and make our PhD journey very enjoyable. So it feels good to reflect on that, how I felt on the first day, and how there was a bit of like hand holding, and supervisors made everything good. And then meeting my research group, other PhD students in the main office, and yeah, it's been good. So I was just reflecting on my choice to do a PhD, and I have no regrets. It's been tough. I won't say it has been easy. It's been tough for so many reasons. So when I started, I was going through some personal issues that almost made me feel like quitting in the beginning, and I wrote about that on my blog when I started around November, I think November 2018. And then gradually I was able to get support, just feeling supported by my supervisors without even letting them know what I was going through, or just support from other PhD colleagues, and just basically the fact that I enjoyed my work. I enjoy my work, so it has made it really easy, and all that is in the past. And I feel really grateful to be here. I feel really grateful to have made this decision to come to do a PhD. It has been good so far, and it's been tough. Yeah, the pandemic happened, so when everything was going really well and PhD was doing what it does, being a PhD, then the pandemic happened and disrupted all my PhD plans from March to September 2020. So I lost about 6 months. Well, not lost, I would say, but delayed by about 6 months. So where I thought I was not where I thought I would be. So I've actually had my school has extended my PhD funding, and they've extended my registration to about 2023. I'm hoping I can finish back on time, because my original registration was until September 2022. So I still have that extra window where I can finish it. So it feels good to have that extra funding, extra timeline, and not feel like you need to pressure yourself, because COVID was not my fault, was not anybody's fault. So there's no point comparing yourself to previous PhD students who have finished bang on time, because nobody has ever done a PhD during a pandemic. So it feels good to be able to experience that. Well, it doesn't feel good to have gone through that experience, but it's good to be able to reflect and see how I've been able to bounce back, and how my work has been able to come back to life, and I've been able to finish collecting data. And now I'm in 4th year and I have data to analyze. So it feels really good. And my advisors are impressed with my progress, and well, it's just good. Like, feels really good. And I like my new office. Well, I've been in this office since the end of my first year. So normally when you're in first year, you go into the big open plan office, and by your second year you can move. But I moved at the end of my first year because I was going on leave, and then I was going for a conference, so International Pharmaceutical Federation conference. So I moved my office to this new office at the end of my first year, and then I went home, and then I went for a conference. I went on leave basically. So by the time I came back in my second year, I was in this office, and I've been in this office, and then of course COVID happened, and then we left the office. So it's been really, really good, and I've been reflecting on my progress. I look back at some of my blogs that I made on my blog basically, and looked at the reflections I did in my first year. So I usually do reflections at the end of the year. So at the end of 2019 I did a reflection, at the end of 2020 I did a reflection. So it's nice to read all those things and see how much progress I have made, because I had a meeting with my supervisors yesterday. So I resumed my leave yesterday, September 30, and I was just being open with them about how I'm feeling overwhelmed, feeling anxious, and just feeling basically like just overwhelmed with the whole PhD, even though obviously I like what I'm doing. And they were just telling me to kind of like look back at all the progress I had made, and even in spite of COVID, and to feel like you feel energized. And yeah, I felt really better. It was really good to be able to reflect, and then also read my past blogs. I'm really grateful I documented everything, because the truth is, even though I remember what I did, I don't remember how I felt, and I don't even remember the full extent of everything. But when I read back those blogs, I'm like, wow, I've made progress, and I'm so happy. So I feel really positive about this final year. I feel like I can do it, and just need to analyze my data, need to continue just doing the PhD, and hopefully very soon I will be done and moving to the next stages. So it feels really good. Then also I've been reflecting on all the other opportunities that have been available for me throughout the PhD. So I've done a lot of professional development, career development opportunities. I've taken advantage of them. So attended so many conferences, trainings within the university. So we have a graduate school, they have workshops, different workshops on academic writing, different workshops on being an effective researcher, different workshops on peer review, workshops on how to format your thesis, different workshops about the PhD journey basically, and how to do it well. So I've just been reflecting on all that, and how all of that has kind of come together and made the experience really enjoyable and give me a strong kind of like foundation. And also the conferences I've attended related to my PhD. So in my first year, I was selected to be part of the wider cohort of the Medical Research Foundation National AMR training for PhD students in the UK. So that has been really good. So every year I have presented something at that conference. First year I presented a poster on my scoping review and the initial data collection and analysis that I did in my first year. And the second year I presented and was invited to even speak, and the third year again I did another presentation. So it has been really good. And then I've attended IPS, Infection Prevention Society conferences. So just looking at all of that, and also the training I was able to attend just before COVID happened. I was able to go to Thailand for an implementation science training, and my school was able to support that. So it's really good. It's been a great journey, and I feel really confident about the rest of the journey. I feel happy, and of course I've made sure to blog everything. And then I started this YouTube channel at the end, towards the end of my third year, or middle of my third year, and it has been going good. It was just something I decided to do to kind of like visualize everything, and then also be able to share tips about the PhD journey. So it's been going good so far, and thank you very much for joining me on this journey. Yes, I'm back from my lunch break, and so I've been reflecting a bit more and just taking a break. It feels good to be in the fourth year, with the final year, and to be able to look back and see how much progress I've made. And my plans basically for the fourth year are to just finish up my analysis, write up my results, chapters, my discussion, my conclusion, bring my thesis together, and get it submitted and defend my PhD. So getting nearer to the finish line, it has been overwhelming. I think it usually gets very overwhelming when you're almost at the end of a goal that you have set for yourself. Anything, not just PhD. So I'm at that stage where I'm like tired, and I'm like, okay, I just want to be done with this. But then because I'm enjoying the process, it's nice. And what I've been doing now is stopped my analysis for a bit. So like I was discussing with my supervisors, so I've gone back to read textbooks, read a lot of papers on the qualitative analysis process and how to do it properly. So I've been doing it, so just to make sure that I'm well informed, that I know what people have been doing and what the literature is saying, so that I can make informed decisions along the way. So it's quite good. And that's just the PhD process. You read, and you try to make sure that you're doing the right thing and immersing yourself in the literature basically. So it's going well so far. I feel feel relaxed. So just been thinking about now finally getting to the end. The end is in sight gradually, and my plans for post PhD. So that's another, I think, another order to cross. So when I start thinking about post PhD career, jobs, and everything, and so I'm starting to kind of look at the job market. So I'm working with a mentor. So a mentor that is not not in my uni, not related to my PhD, but in the global health field. And the mentor and I have been working together over the past few months to kind of help me to do like skills assessments, look at the job market, look at where I want to work, look at what organizations are recruiting, what they're looking for. So looking at the skills I've been able to get on my PhD, transferable skills beyond academia, within academia. I'm targeting roles outside academia, but I'm also open to roles within academia. But for me, what is important is to be able to look at all the skills, the experiences that I've gained during my PhD, and all the experiences I have even before my PhD, all the volunteering I've done, all the career development, the leadership positions, and how I can pull all of that together, make a strong application for post-PhD jobs. So, and my supervisors have also discussed that with me, and we had the discussion recently. So, it feels a bit overwhelming to be at that stage where you need to start thinking, okay, what next? But it's important, I think, to start now. And I think people always say, they probably say you need to start looking for jobs just like 6 months before your PhD ends. So from next year, 2022, I would start to really actively try to apply for jobs and see what the market is like, basically, like what jobs are available with my skills, my experiences, and my interests too. So yeah, I'm still at that stage where I'm kind of testing the market, doing my like kind of mapping out what jobs are available, what skills are in demand, and how my PhD experience, so the project management experience, the skills, the analysis, the data collection, project design, everything, how it fits and transfers into various sectors. So yeah, that's been a nice process, and it's good to have started it in my third year. Just be thinking about it, like being in that kind of mind and that kind of mindset. Yeah, in that headspace. So by next year, the process will start actively. So I feel really good about that, and I just need to keep pushing and finish this PhD. And I always tell myself, I can do it, I can do it. I give myself a lot of pep talks. Yeah, because that's another part of it. So self-discipline, self-motivation is key during a PhD, and it helps you. Yeah, the resilience, the perseverance helps you to keep going, and I think that's what has kept me going. Yeah, the grace of God has kept me going so far. God has given me so much strength to continue on this journey, to keep persevering despite everything, whatever is going on in life, COVID or anything. And I feel really hopeful about the future and thinking about what next post PhD, other areas of life, and I'm optimistic about the future and grateful too. So I'll just be going back to work now because I've taken a break, and I will be continuing my work, doing more reading and just trying to map out my plan for the rest of the year. So I've started making my plan for the year, so like a mini portion of my Gantt chart for my PhD. So I've taken out the months that are remaining and kind of done milestones or what I need to achieve. So it's always good to plan like that. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing. And yeah, thank you for watching up until this point. And if you like what I've shared so far, if you like to keep up to date with my PhD journey, or if you like to have tips on how to maximize the whole PhD journey, you can subscribe to my channel and turn on all post notifications, and you'll get notified when I upload the next video. So thank you so much for watching. Yes, I need to get back to work now.
Going down. Ground floor. Doors open. Going up.